A very good evening to one and all. On behalf of the trustees, management, principals, HODs, staff, and the students of SA Engineering College, I extend a warm welcome to one and all in this virtual platform. To know more about our college, SA Engineering College was established in the year 1998 and it is successfully continuing its education service beyond 25 years of excellence. SA Engineering College has taken the forefront of technical education through its distinctly different and carefully nurtured standard. The college is approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to NA University, accredited by the NBA. Has an A grade from the NAC and also an ISO 9001-2015 certified institution. The college believes in the preparation for the life ahead in all earnest and provides every opportunity to grow beyond academics. In view of the same, many in-house programs like placement training, value-added courses, workshop, symposium, and guest lecture are also organized to make the student industry ready. We all have assembled here today to motivate and cherish the young mind present among us. At this juncture, I feel honored to welcome our resource person for today, Mr. Harish, Senior Research Specialist, World Resource Institute, India. We welcome you, sir.
Hi, thanks, Nitasha.
Sir, your voice is not audible. Harish, sir?
Is it audible now, ma'am? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is audible.
Okay, great. Sorry, I lost in between. Can we start, or should we wait for some more students to join?
You can start, sir. You can start, sir.
Okay, I'm just sharing my screen. So, in the interest of bandwidth, I'm just turning off my video. Can you see the presentation, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Slides are changing now. I have some issue. I couldn't. Can you see the slides changing, ma'am?
No, sir. The slides are not able to visualize, sir. Only your screen is visible, sir.
I'll reshare. Just give me a second. Yes, and so now I think you can see.
Now it is visible, sir. Now your slide is visible.
Yeah, I'll start. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I think, as given a brief introduction, I am Harish, working as a senior research specialist in World Resource Institute India. World Resource Institute India is a non-profit research organization where we work with the state governments across the globe to support them with various initiatives. For instance, now I am working in Tamil Nadu, so we work along with the state government and Tangentco and TNEB to support them with developing new clean energy policies, helping them with some new modeling efforts that give some valuable research outputs to them, and also designing strategies for helping them achieve the sustainable energy transformation. So that's all we do. So to start with an introduction, so before I start, I think I feel it would be good if it's kind of an interactive session. So students can feel free to raise their hand or feel free to unmute themselves and ask any questions in between. Right. So starting with choosing a career is always something that has to be focused on. Right. So this is kind of an important juncture for the higher secondary student and polytechnic students to decide which path that they're going to choose in their life. Right. So similarly, like how we had a challenge after completing 10th standard to choose which department we are going to take in our +1 or higher secondary education. So at the end of higher secondary education, the next major life decision that we have to make is which path or career that we are going to choose. So in this whole presentation or this whole session, I would be briefing about a career path and renewable industry. This is one of the industry, and I'm just giving you my perspective on this industry. It's not any recommendation as such. So I'm just presenting you what are the benefits of working in this particular industry. And yeah, ultimately, I would always say that any student would has to prefer in which area they have more interest, what is their passion on, and that's where they have to take their career path towards. Right. So to starting with engineering. So after completing higher secondary education, despite having multiple options and there have been multiple movies that have also shows different direction about engineering. But yeah, engineering is uh, engineering is a field, right? So where it involves more of practically solving the problems that we face. So in simple terms, what I define engineering is basically application of science and mathematics to solve our practical life problems. So um, so engineering again has multiple disciplines, as most of you might be aware, right? So ranging from mechanical, electrical, chemical, and there are even computer science engineering. So there are multiple domains available. Depending upon the value stream that we choose, again, depending upon the engineering that we choose, there is a huge value stream that is available down there that which we could choose for. So why engineering? That should be the next common question. So I feel engineering is where a student or an individual will be able to push boundaries beyond to create new innovations. Because if we take software or any other industry where it would be more of a desk job and we would be developing new programs and things like that. But engineering is a field where a particular individual will able to contribute more towards an innovation, right? So everything that we see is an engineering. For example, the electric vehicle. So till now we have been using the conventional fossil fuel based vehicles for years or decades, right? So now we have got electric vehicle through which a person will be able to transfer from one place to another place with the help of batteries and electric power alone. Similarly, there are newer sources of renewable energy that is currently under development. So all these innovations are possible only with engineering. So it depends upon the personal interest, but by pursuing engineering, a student can be a part of an exciting and dynamic field that is going to shape our world. So it would be more of innovative, and that's why I think I personally took of this engineering field. So moving on to electrical engineering. So of course there are, as I've explained, there are multiple streams available. However, the reason to choose electrical engineering is personally this has wide range of applications. So this electrical engineering, I think I don't want to get into the book type of definition that this deals with study of so and so, right? So of course, electrical engineering covers multiple domains, and we have so many subjects that has to be learned in different semesters. Right. Personally, what I would say is, right, electrical engineering is one field where you have opportunity to get into different streams. Right. So to put it straight, if you study electrical engineering, it's not necessary that you have to become an electrical engineer. You could. There is also avenues open for you to get into some kind of mechanical related job roles, or get into even IT or computer science related roles as well. So it opens you a wide stream of opportunities. The next question is how electrical engineering is a better career path than software work, because nowadays people are preferring software role because that's the buzzword now. And I think even engineers in the past who have studied in different domains of engineering have even got into IT or software related works. The reason being is they are preferring higher salaries, and they're preferring desk job. That's what I would say. But getting into an electrical engineering role would give you to play some kind of an innovative thing, right? So it's more of working on tangible things and physical products.
Oh,
Than,
yes, no.
sorry, any questions anyone has?
No, sir. Please carry on, sir.
Okay, yeah. So that's what. So electrical, the one of the main reason is, as I said, it's a tangible and physical thing that we could do, new innovations that we could create on. So uh, despite software being a better paid job, I think personally working in an electrical industry gives me that kind of a job satisfaction that we have. So that is what we'll have to look into more than the package, I would say. But yeah, ultimately it has to be a proper balance between both of them. So next is why renewable industry. Of course, electrical industry has various domains, like from electronics, and there are also avenues available in power systems and much more. But getting into why renewable industry is something is what I want to touch upon in this whole presentation. So to start with, why renewable is the question that would pop up our mind. But before getting into why renewable, I personally feel we have to understand what is climate change, right? So climate change is the result of high greenhouse gas emission that has been done during the industrial era in early 1990s and 2000s. The governments across the globe wanted to promote industrialization. So there was rapid amount of emissions that has been greenhouse gas emissions that has been made from the manufacturing and transportation sector. So this has started creating adverse effects with the help of, in terms of climate change. So it threatens our biodiversity. Of course, there has been severe disruption in weather patterns, and of course, it poses risks to the humans as well. The best example that I could say is right now. I think we are in the month of June, but still we could feel the extreme temperature rise in the month of June. That is something unusual that we could feel in the month of June. And I would say personally, this is also one of the impacts of climate change. Similarly, heavy rainfalls that we are facing in Novembers and Decembers, and all these kinds of floodings that we are visualizing only in last 5 years. It has not happened this drastically or this frequently if we could check out the historical patterns. So all these are happening due to climate change, and I think we have to understand the seriousness of climate change, right? So IPCC is the institution that releases the report on climate change. So they have released a report that said we have only in 2018. So in 2018, the report said we have only 12 years to save the world from all these impacts, and we are already at 2023. We still have almost 7 years remaining. But despite considering the innovations and the renewable energy adoption, sudden rise in renewable energy adoption, still we are much lacking behind the targets given by IPCC. So I think there was a recent report in last year, in 2022, IPCC 6, So that said, we can't control this 1.5 degrees Celsius of temperature rise. So to give the background, after the Paris Agreement signing, the global community decided that we have to limit this rise in temperature that is created due to greenhouse gas emission to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And this is possible only by taking tremendous action, and they have given a pathway that has to be followed before 2030 to achieve this. However, we are already 5 years away, and we are still not even halfway through the pathways that they have generated. So I personally see that we might end up at somewhere at 3 to 4 degrees Celsius by end of 2100, which is too high and which is going to tremendously affect the future generations. But despite I'm saying so much about the impacts of greenhouse gas emission, the basic question that would pop up would be, how is this greenhouse gas emission happens? I am being an individual. How am I doing this impacts to climate change, right? So of course, everyone there are huge amount of construction that's happening all around our places, right? So the best example that I could say is 1 kg of cement that we use currently uh, would emit close to 1 kg of CO2. So then consider how much amount of infrastructure upgrades that we are doing, and how much amount of CO2 that we're going to emission just from the construction sector. And similarly, 1 kg of steel emits close to 2 to 2.5 kgs of CO2. That's about the construction sector, and I would leave it to you to calculate how much emissions we are making from that particular sector. Similarly, when we get into energy, right? So the present peak demand, I think yesterday there was an article that said India has achieved this peak demand at the end of May. So the peak demand was 215 gigawatts. So that was the peak demand projected by Ministry of Power. So if that is the scale of demand that we have, right? So the measurement scale would be 1 kilowatt hour of electricity that we use is emitting close to 0.95 kgs of CO2. And similarly, the next major industry is transportation, where 1 liter of fuel that we use amounts to close to 2 to 3.3 kgs of CO2 emission. So you could just assume how much impact we are creating to this environment, and that is resulting into climate change. And one solution that we have in hand is adopting renewables. So that's why I personally feel renewable industry has a long way to go, and there are lots of new technology innovations that's happening, which I'll probably cover in the upcoming slide. I just wanted to explain what is renewable energy, but rather than me again giving a lecture, I thought of presenting a video, which I think you could see in the next slide.
Around the world, renewable energy use is on the rise. And these alternative energy sources could hold the key to combating climate change. What is renewable energy? Renewable energy is generated from sources that naturally replenish themselves and never run out. The most common sources are solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass. Over 80% of the total energy consumed by humans is derived from fossil fuels. However, renewables are the fastest growing source of energy in the world. Renewable energy has many benefits. First, it can combat climate change because it creates no direct greenhouse gas emissions. The only emissions that they produce are indirect, meaning those that result from manufacturing parts, installation, operation, and maintenance. But even those are minimal. Second, renewable energy can decrease pollution and therefore reduce threats to our health. Wind, solar, and hydroelectric systems create no air pollution emissions, and geothermal and biomass energy systems emissions are much lower than non-renewable energy sources. Third, renewable energy is a reliable source of power. Because renewable energy sources are, well, renewable, they will never run out. Once built, renewable facilities cost very little to operate, and the fuel is often free. As a result, renewable energy prices tend to be stable over time. While renewable energy has many advantages, it is not without downsides. It is difficult for renewable energy sources to generate power on the same large scale as fossil fuels. Building wind farms and dams can disrupt wildlife and migration patterns and lead to ecological destruction. Both solar and wind energy are intermittent. They only generate power while the sun is shining or while the wind is blowing. Batteries can store excess energy for later use. However, they are often costly. While renewable energy presents some challenges, it also offers an environmentally friendly alternative to the greenhouse gas emissions and pollution of fossil fuels. And as advances in technology make renewable energy more accessible, affordable, and efficient, an end to climate change could be within our reach.
Yes, so yeah, so I think the video would have given you a quick gist on what is renewable energy and what are the advantages and the drawbacks that we have in the renewable industry, in renewable energies. So now giving an overview for the renewable energy industry. So this is one of the rapidly growing industry. So uh, as you have seen the pressing issues that we have from the environment side due to the climate change, a renewable industry is booming quite a faster in last 5 years, I should say. So from 2010, it has started booming severely, and especially after 2020 and after this IPCC report and Paris Agreement, there has been a sudden rise that we could see here, and there has been huge amount of job openings and positions that has been listed across the market. So, uh, as an electrical engineer, the next question would be what are the different roles that is available in this, right? So uh, there are multiple value streams that is available in the industry, which I'll probably explain in the upcoming slides. So now to understand the importance or the potential of renewable energy, again, despite just saying that potential, I wanted to give some numbers here. So as I've explained previously, Ministry of Power has said the peak demand is 215 gigawatt this year, which happened sometime last month, right? So and the current installed capacity of India is 398 gigawatt. So this 398 gigawatt comprises of 156 gigawatt from renewable energy sources alone. So out of total India's capacity, 156 gigawatt is from RE, which is close to 35-40% share. Now, State Ministry of Power has given a forecast. So this would be done once in 5 years, right? So as per the recent report, they've said they've estimated the future demand for 2032. So in the year of 2032, the peak demand would go up to 366 gigawatt, and we would need somewhere around 900 plus gigawatt of total electricity mix or generation capacity to meet this demand, right? So if the capacity is going to double almost, in that the RE capacity growth must also be in line, right? So that would be the typical expectation. However, as per their forecast, due to the sudden rise in electric vehicles, and they have also forecasted some rise in data centers that is about to be set up in India. So based on all this demand, and they are also having some green power demand. So based on this, the RE is expected to grow. Renewable energy is expected to become 596 gigawatt out of 900 gigawatt, which is close to 70%. So from 30% of the country's mix in next 10 years, it is going to become 70%. So that is the official forecast given by Ministry of Power. So there is a severe ramp up that is expected in the industry, and we are going to get huge amount of opportunities. That's what I wanted to highlight from this. And finally, the job satisfaction that we are going to get from renewable, right? So rather than working in software or working in some other typical manufacturing industry, we are going to do something for the environment. and something good for the entire human society. So that is something bringing a kind of enlightenment within me. That is what I personally feel. Moving on to the career paths in renewable energy. So there are multiple value streams, as I mentioned in the previous slide, right? So just to explain it with an example. So now, for instance, SA Engineering College wanted to set up a rooftop solar. We already have a rooftop solar, which I'm aware of. But yeah, if they wanted to extend their rooftop solar, right? And there is a solar firm that is there who wanted to approach SA Engineering College for this. I'm just giving you an understanding how much departments are there, how big is the value stream. Then what happens is that this particular firm will send out a business development guy who typically has to sell solar power to the college. They wanted to present the benefits, technicalities, right? So to present the technicalities, this person has to be an engineer background. So he has to have some kind of technical knowledge to present it. So business development is one big department in most of the corporates now. The next step would be engineering department. So once, say, this sales guy who is an engineer who gets an order from SA Engineering College, the next step would be designing this particular solar plant, right? So it involves multiple designing, right? From designing the solar panel capacity, designing the inverters, designing cables involved in this, designing the LT panels, HT panels, transformer. So a huge amount of uh, bisections are available that has to be designed. So this will be done by a team called engineering department. The next stage would be procurement. So once this design guy has done all this design, all these components has to be procured from different geographies, right? So solar panels, as most of you might be aware, it is currently the 90% of total India's procurement of solar panel happens from China. So procurement is this guy has to interact with multiple geographies to procure. Again, preferred qualification is engineering for that as well. Next is construction. So a site engineer has to get to SA Engineering College once all this material reaches there to set up this particular solar power plant on the rooftop. Again, that requires multiple bisection departments there. I don't get into technicalities, but yeah. And similarly, there are multiple other departments. So once the plant is set up, there is something called operation and maintenance team who takes care of the regular operation and maintenance. And there is a separate department called analytics department who sit and monitor all the solar plants that that particular solar firm has set up across India to identify the maintenance errors even before it occurs. So and that's what the point I'm trying to say is there is a huge amount of value stream in just one solar industry that I've said under renewables. Similarly, there are multiple sources of renewable power available, right? From wind, hydro, geothermal, biomass. So multiple streams are available. So huge amount of jobs and are available in this renewable value chain. Plus, all these are existing domains. So we have two new domain which I see, which would grow tremendously under renewable value chain, which is green hydrogen and offshore wind. So as per the recent stat, green hydrogen will develop a revenue stream of close to $8 billion by 2030 for India alone. That's a significant number, and we are going to. I think India is planning to generate green hydrogen for 10% of the total world demand. That's a huge number. Next is getting onto offshore wind, the other technology I said. So till now, we would be having wind turbines across the country, which we call it as onshore, having a wind farm on the land. The next technology that has evolved is setting up the wind power plants in the offshore area, which is basically setting up it in the remote sea areas. So this would be set up in the coast, and again, yeah, I don't want to get into technicalities, but to give you the significance, as per the assessment of National Institute of Wind Energy, we are estimating close to 37 gigawatt of offshore wind that would be set up in Gujarat, and the other major state, only two states are has good potential of offshore wind. So one is Gujarat, for which they have given projection of 37 gigawatt, and the other state is Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu's projection has a huge potential in the areas of Rameshwaram and from the Rameshwaram to Tuticorin belt. So there they have given projection of close to 25 gigawatt. So these two, I would say, a huge growth that is expected in the industry, and that is also going to bring in more amount of jobs into the sector. So I think I've not touched deep into the green hydrogen thing, but I personally feel, being students, green hydrogen is the evolving sector. So I again thought of showing you how this thing works in a short 1-minute video.
What is green hydrogen and how is it produced? In order to combat climate change, we need to adopt electrification as a clean and sustainable solution to many of our transport and industrial needs. Today, we generate the majority of electricity from sustainable resources such as wind and solar, but these sources sometimes struggle to fuel industry and larger, heavier modes of transport, like buses, lorries, and ships. That's where hydrogen comes in. Although hydrogen is a colourless, odourless gas, we use colours to describe how it's produced and the processes used to create it. Two of the commonly referenced colours are grey and blue. Grey hydrogen is produced from natural gas, creating damaging CO2 in the process. In the future, blue hydrogen will also be made from natural gas, and some of the carbon dioxide produced will be captured and stored, but it's not possible to capture all of it. The cleanest form of hydrogen production is green, and this is the only type produced using renewable energy, resulting in zero CO2 emissions. Clean renewable electricity is used to power an electrolyzer, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen gas with no carbon emissions. The hydrogen can be stored and transported for use as necessary. So, green hydrogen is incredibly versatile. We can create, store, and transport it as required. And by using renewable energy, we can ensure the process creates zero carbon emissions, helping to accelerate your green energy goals. And all it leaves behind is water. Whether your hydrogen demand for your business is large or small, we can work with you to find a green hydrogen solution that...
Yeah, so I think that's a quick explanation on what is green hydrogen. So I personally feel, rather than explaining it as a lecture, I thought of showing a quick 1-minute video. So that will help you understand what it is basically. So rather than just giving a lecture, so I thought of showing you that. Yeah. Yes, so we have covered why engineering, and then why electrical engineering, and what is renewable, and what are the different opportunities available in renewable industry. And I've also given you a quick brief on what is the future areas of growth that we're expecting in renewable industry. So the next step would be, what is the skills that is required. So to succeed as an electrical engineer, I think I personally feel one must have a clear understanding or a good knowledge on the basic electrical concepts. So it's not just mugging up the Kirchhoff's laws or Ohm's laws, right? So it's or getting marks in the semester examination. It's more of understanding the core concept on what is this and how these electrical components work. So that a clear understanding of core concepts is essential. That's what I'm trying to present here. Second, one common skill that we typically look when we interview candidates is whether he has that understanding of the core concept, and next is whether he has that problem solving skill. When we give him some kind of random scenarios, or say a challenging scenario, this particular candidate must have that proactive ability to solve that particular thing with the basic knowledge that he has, right? So that problem solving skill is something that I recommend to develop within ourselves. And second is to have a good understanding on the evolving technologies like green hydrogen, offshore wind. It's not that we should it shouldn't be that we should just aware of what's happening in our books and what's happening around. We must be aware of the future technologies as well. And finally, of course, nevertheless, which brought me here, is the degree in electrical engineering. So we must complete our degree in electrical engineering. Plus, in add-on, if you would like to work in the renewable industry, I would suggest you to do a master's or a post-graduation in renewable energy. which is offered by most of the institutions already. And in case if you are not able to do this master's program for say 2 years or so, you could also opt for the trainings offered by the government institutions. So MNRE is the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So under them they have multiple training institutions, and two of them which I would like to highlight is National Institute of Solar Energy and National Institute of Wind Energy. This National Institute of Wind Energy NIVE, which is there in Thoraipakkam in Chennai. So that's a good opportunity, and they are offering several training programs and skill development programs, which probably if we are not able to take up this complete 2-year course, we could do some kind of crash courses over there. So that I think I've covered most of thing in my presentation. And finally, I just want to touch upon the artificial intelligence, which is not related to this thing, but yeah, I just want to touch up because artificial intelligence is rapidly growing currently. And I understand even there was a new course like artificial intelligence was also brought as a separate department in many of the engineering institutions now. So that is growing rapidly. So this is basically built to automate our tasks, but in likely what it happened is it has started taking over lots of our jobs. So I see it has these software engineers who have developed are becoming crazy. I mean, they've themselves destroying their jobs. So engineers, I wanted to say is engineers who wanted to stay ahead of the curve should start learning about artificial intelligence. They have to start automating their task with this, right? So earlier there was like 10 developers who used to work on a particular program to develop a software. For instance, now we just need 1 or 2 developers, and they are just doing programs with help of this artificial intelligence. Like there are chatbots available like ChatGPT, and now Google has also launched this Google Bot. So just to give you a fact, right? So I've been doing a detailed presentation now, and I hope most of you would have noticed that the images that I've used in most of the slides are AI driven. So an artificial intelligence has created this entire presentation for me, right from starting to the conclusion. I've just given the context, and I've used a artificial intelligence tool to generate this entire presentation, and the images also is auto generated, and you could not find these images in the internet. So just to give you a fact. So that's how it's playing a huge role in the industry. So all I would like to say is we have to learn and try to make use of this AI thing to leverage much ahead of other people in the market. Next is resources. Yeah. So before concluding, I just thought of sharing some resources. I hope NPTI, which most of you would be aware, and there is also lots of resources available in the library of most of the engineering institutions. Plus, we have it in Anna University as well. And there are multiple other websites like Coursera, Khan Academy, and there is something called MIT Open Courseware, so which offers lots of courses for free, where there's a huge amount of learning opportunities. Similarly, one major avenue that I personally suggest is getting into reading lots of this engineering journals, because tremendous amount of innovations are happening. So lots of journals are launched by research institutions like us. Even we have launched more than 5 research papers in last say 1 financial year, but which has huge amount of statistics and information, which I personally feel if students who wanted to pursue engineering or students pursuing engineering, if they are able to go through it, they'll be able to get good amount of knowledge. And nevertheless, yeah, as I said in the previous slide, we have ChatGPT and Google Bard available anytime, where we could use that also as a learning source. Yeah, finally, I would like to conclude again, not getting into the paragraph. So I would like to conclude that the future for electrical engineering and renewable energy is bright. And the demand for electrical engineers who can design and develop a renewable energy systems is definitely expected to grow in the coming years. But all I would like to say is this is just one of the career path that I've shown to you, to all the students. So if you have enough amount of interest and passion in this, go for it. Do your best to the fullest satisfaction so that you are ahead of people there. that's what all I would like to say before conclude. So go with your passion, do what you feel. Thank you. So that's all I would like to present today. I'm open for any questions if anyone has.
Hello. Thank you, Harish sir. Hello.
Yes, yes,
Am
ma'am,
I
you're
audible?
audible. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes. Actually, nice to see your presentation with the presence of artificial intelligence usage for preparing your PPT, sir. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes, sir, you're audible.
Very lucid presentation, sir. Neat, sir.
Thank
Sir,
you.
I have one question, sir.
I have to thank artificial intelligence. It did
Okay.
for me. Huh.
Okay. Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yeah.
Can clean energy replace fossil fuel, sir, in future?
Of course not, to put it straight, right? So, of course, we need fossil fuel based energy like thermal and nuclear power to meet the base demand, because whatever renewable energy sources that we are looking at, all these are intermittent. For instance, solar would be able to generate only in daytime. Similarly, wind, they would be able to generate the peak power only in the it's basically a seasonal generation. Similarly, each and every renewable sources, despite it doesn't has any end, but it has some limitations. However, thermal plant, despite being a highest source of fossil fuel, so highest source of greenhouse gas emitter, we need it to meet our base load or to meet it to manage our peak hour fluctuations. However, we could add on this renewable energy to the maximum share, say 60 or 70%. As I mentioned in my presentation, this recent order by Ministry of Power said that they are planning to increase India's renewable energy share to 67%. So that is the forecast that we have. But yeah, always thermal is for meeting our base demand, and renewable would be used on top of that.
So thank you, sir. Once again, thank you, sir.
Hello. Sir.
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Sir, you said about solar, wind, and all energy sources, and your videos were also fine. What kind of software can be used for as being a BE student or EEE student? What kind of software that the student should be familiar to get indulge knowledge in renewable energy, sir? In addition to your AI techniques, to be familiar with the solar and or wind, what kind of software other than the MATLAB? Because MATLAB students are aware of it. So other than MATLAB, any other software that can be
Yes, ma'am. So in that's what. So different technologies has again different software. But to put it put it straight, the base layer would be that is common for all the electrical design. Would, as I said, MATLAB and AutoCAD would be the common thing that at the base we use in the industry. Over and above, depending upon the industry, there are multiple other softwares. For instance, if I take solar industry, we use tools like SketchUp to do 3D designing. We use a tool called Helioscope, which helps us to model how much capacity we will be able to fit into any area or any any rooftop area. And similarly, we use one more tool called PVSYST. This software is used to predict how much generation we will be able to yield. So these are some of the examples that I said specific to solar industry, but it varies. Say if I get to wind, similarly, there are a couple of more softwares that people use. So I couldn't say straightly that these are the software, but yeah, there are several software which could be used.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's time for quiz.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful section.
Thank you.
Hi guys, this is our quiz time. Guys, please open your browser and type www.kahoot.it and enter your gate pin as 985075. Guys, go to your browser and type www.kahoot.it and enter your game pin as 985075. I repeat, go to your browser and type www.kahoot.it and enter your game pin as 985075. Okay, let's start our quiz. These fuels are made from hydrogen fuels, biomass fuels, all the above. I repeat the question. These fuels are made from living things such as leaves, food waste, and manure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, 6 members answered correctly. Vidya is in first position with the score of 931. What are three non-renewable sources of energy? Oil, natural gas, coal, coal, oil, carbon, water, natural gas, carbon, algae, corn, coal. I repeat the question. What are three non-renewable sources of energy? Guys, hurry up. It's time to wind up. Yeah. Yeah, 4 members are answered correctly. Now, Balaji in the first position with the score of 1794 points. Which state solar and wind power are intermittent? Some source of renewable energy like hydroelectric can have animal habits. All form of renewable energy and inefficient. Among these options, which one is false? Yeah, 3 members are answered correctly. Again, Balaji in the first question with the score of 2495 points. Which is the cleanest source of energy? Wind, solar, geothermal, all the above. I repeat the question. Which is the cleanest source of energy? Wind, solar, geothermal, all of the above. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks up, guys. Wow, 11 members are answered correctly. Again, Balaji in the first question with a score of 3050 points. Most of the energy we use originally comes from sun, air, ocean, soil. Most of the energy we use originally comes from sun, air, ocean, soil. Okay, 10 numbers are answered correctly. Again, Balaji in the first question with a score of 3836 points. Natural gas is transported mainly by pipeline, that truck, all three equally. I repeat the question. Natural gas is transported mainly by pipeline, bar, truck, all three equally. Seven members are answered correctly. Again, Balaji in the first position with a score of 3836 points. Keep it up, Balaji. Global warming focuses on the increase in the level of which gas in the atmosphere? Carbon dioxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide. I repeat the question. Global warming focuses on an increase in the level of which gas in the atmosphere? Carbon dioxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide. 3, 2, 1. Time's up, guys. 7 members are answered correctly. Now, Preeti in the first question with a score of 4049 points. Energy that comes from heat below the Earth's surface is called geothermal energy, hydropower, solar energy, biomass energy. I repeat the question. Energy that comes from heat below the Earth's surface is called geothermal energy, hydropower, solar energy, or biomass energy. Wow, 10 members are answered correctly. Now, Balaji in the first question with the score of 4729 points. Renewable means that the energy source is constantly being remade. The sentence is true or false. I repeat the sentence. Renewable means that the energy source is constantly being remade. Guys, is this sentence is true or false? Wow, 15 members are answered correctly. Again, Balaji in the first position with the score of 5671 points. Which pest could potentially help to produce biofuels? Cockroaches, termites, flies, spiders. I repeat the question. Which pest could potentially help to produce biofuels? Guys, please pause. Time is going. Time's up, guys. 9 members are answered correctly. Let's move to the podium. Third place goes to Vidya with the score of 5177 points, and second place goes to Tamil Narasi And the first place goes to Balaji with the score of 6,641 points. Thank you guys for attending the quiz. Please share your mail ID and your full name in the chat box.
I'm grateful to the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and effort for the I also extend my sincere thanks to our honored resource person and the heads of Department of Humanity and Science, CAC, IT, ECE, EEE, AADS, AML, Civil, Mechanical, CSBS, and Cybersecurity.